It's Alan Parsons' track-by-track description of his brand new album, The Secret. I'm John Bowden from Rock History Book. Here's our exclusive presentation on release day of Alan Parsons' brand new album, The Secret. Right off the bat of our interview, I asked Alan, I says, let's do something. Let's talk about every single last track. I mean, there's tons of questions I want to ask you about your past because I've been a fan forever. But it's nice to premiere an album and talk about the tracks and the people behind it. First, the opening track, and he's famous for big instrumental opening tracks, The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Most people know it from the Disney movie Fantasia, you know, the 40s animated movie. It was kind of what made Mickey Mouse famous. He's depicted in that movie in a sorcerer's lair carrying buckets of water, and he casts a spell on a broom, which then starts carrying the water, but everything goes wrong, and he attempts to make it stop, but it gets worse and worse until the sorcerer comes back. I grew up with that piece. It was actually the first classical piece that I ever owned on vinyl as a boy. But the piece was actually written in the late 1800s. French composer called Paul Dukas. But we decided it was a great piece to base a rock version upon, and we got some really good people involved. We got Steve Hackett on the guitars and Vinnie Colaiuta on drums, Nathan East on bass. I mean,
I think most people know that as a cartoon sequence. And Alan wanted me to replace some of the orchestral parts with guitars in harmony. So we were doing 3-part guitar harmonies, and he's also got orchestra on it as well. So I've yet to hear the finished mix, but people have been saying nice things about it. And Alan, of course, is so very talented as a writer and producer.
Which brings us to Jason Mraz. I like the story that somehow growing coffee got you guys together.
We are both fruit farmers. He's further south than me. I'm up in Santa Barbara. And a neighbor of mine does grow coffee. And Jason saw his advertising and contacted him with a view to having him grow coffee as well on his farm. The neighbor, his name is Jay Ruskey, Ruskey. He was kind enough to introduce us, knowing that we were both in the music business, and we got on really well. It turned out he had been a fan since childhood. He used to listen to Eye in the Sky, apparently, in the back of his mum's car, strapped into his baby seat, you know. He actually had recorded his own version of Eye in the Sky, I think just for his own amusement. He played it to me. It was really good. And he actually said that Miracle, which is the song he sings on the new album, he said it could have come straight off Eye in the Sky. It's like time stood still between 1982 and now. He said that song could have personally well been featured on the original album, Eye in the Sky.
As the lights fall, am I detecting a Scottish sort of vibe in there someplace?
First I've heard of it. I am half Scottish, so what is it? Is it instrumental sounds or lyrics that you're hearing in Scottish?
I first listened to it, and when he starts singing, I remember feeling, I'm going, am I detecting? It just came to me. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's incredibly catchy.
Oh, good. It's a rare appearance on vocal for me, that one. I've released a couple of singles in the period between A Valid Path and now, but this is the first time I've done a full-blown vocal on an album.
A one-note symphony to me sounded like a rock opera. And tell me if I'm wrong. With the synth computer voice, I almost felt it was a tip of the hat to iRobot.
It's certainly got its roots in science. You probably noticed in the lyrics that we talk about the healing frequency of 7.83, which some scientists claim is the frequency that the entire universe hums at, and it holds everything together. And when it's reproduced, it's very difficult to reproduce, but when it is reproduced, it produces those overtones that you hear on the intro of the song. The song's actually going to be used for the 50th anniversary of Neil Armstrong walking on the moon at an event in Florida, commemorating that occasion.
No kidding.
Yeah. So we're excited about that.
The Lou Gramm song, Sometimes. Did you know Lou before?
No, I knew Mick Jones because we both had kids at the same school in London way back in the 80s. But I'd never met Lou, but I'd always admired him, always thought he was the great rock voice, you know. I just reached out to him. I had a contact through the guitar player in my band, Jeff Coleman, who had done some gigs with him. and sent him the song by email. He said, "I love it. I'd love to sing it." So he did. Believe it or not, we've still never met. We did it over the internet at a distance. He did it in a New York studio, and I was here at my studio in Santa Barbara, which is a brand new studio. I've just completed it in time to record this album there.
Soiree, a fantastic, nice Parisian feel, another gorgeous song, brought me back to day after day. I'm glad you got the Parisian vibe. I mean, we worked hard to try and evoke that feeling. I think it's just a nice song. Like many of the other songs, it's got its roots in magic. The magic theme is ever present on this album, and you probably noticed that on the cover art as well. With Fly to Me, you mentioned magic in the first line. The vocal to me has a bit of a Beatle-esque, almost Lennon feel to it.
You're not wrong at all. Mark Michael's voice is reminiscent of Lennon, I think. He's a great talent. He's a lovely, great songwriter. Credit for the writing of that song was his, along with Jeff Coleman, the guitar player in the band, and myself. It's some people's favorite song on the album. I'm not sure, but it's it's certainly in my top three myself.
Requiem, it was another one of my favorites. The Day the Magic Died. I mean, looking at, of course, magic and relationships too, and because magic can mean so many things, and God knows your albums have certainly proved that about the mystery and the magic of things.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously got magic connotations. What I love about it is the feel that we managed to get. It's everybody was thinking like it was a TV theme from the 60s, something like Perry Mason or one of those. And that's sort of strengthened by the fact that we had a big band arrangement. Todd Cooper's brother Bo did the brass arrangement, and I've never had that kind of brass arrangement on one of my songs before. But it was a real. I got a real kick out of doing it. I mean, a fantastic Nashville horn players, amazing musicians.
Years of Glory, another beautiful song.
That was co-written by P.J. Olson, who's the main lead singer in the live band. I think, according to him, the lyric covers not only his relationship with me, but he very sadly lost his son to a drug overdose a year ago, and I think the lyric evokes both myself and Remy, his son.
The Limelight Fades Away, is that autobiographical at all?
I think it could be. It's a little bit like As Lights Fall. That kind of gives the impression that you're talking about somebody at the end of his career, or at least at the end of his lifespan, possibly. Limelight Fades Away. Yeah, it was carefully worded to include references to magic. Yeah, I mean, all the songs were geared towards the magic theme as much as possible. Do you have a personal favorite?
So I like the last tune, which is the second single. I Can't Get There From Here. I love the lyric. I love when people play with lyrics. You can't get there from here. I like that kind of thing. I'm not sure why. No one knows why these things happen, but that stood out for me. I mean, I'm from the school of this. My tongue falls to the bottom of my mouth, and my shoulders lower a little bit when I hear a song. My body literally reacts to it. That was one.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, well that's good to know. The title originally came. You know how the English tell jokes about the Irish. And Americans tell jokes about the Polish, but the origin of that phrase, as far as I'm concerned, was that a tourist in Ireland asked for directions somewhere, and the response is, "Oh no, you can't get there from here."
Alan Parsons is famous for themes. In this clip, Alan talks about the theme to this album, magic.
But magic has been a hobby of mine ever since I can remember.
Alan, do you remember how old you were when you first sparked to you?
Probably 6. I mean, I think I got a magic set for Christmas, and ever since then I've been absorbed with all things magical. A lot of my friends are magicians. I'm a member of the Magic Castle in Hollywood, arguably the most famous magic club in the world. I just love all things to do with magic. I have a big collection of magic tricks at home, and 3 bookshelves full of magic books. So it's a bit of an obsession for me, performing and reading about magic every spare moment I have.
I want to thank Alan for talking to us and talking about every single last track off The Secret. We're going to do this more often on this channel, where we feature individual albums and go through every single one of them. We're planning on doing that with Elton John and Toto and Genesis, on and on. And also keep in mind, we have a 9-part series of us talking to Alan on our sister site, which is Rock History Music, our sister channel. He talks about things like Eye in the Sky and I, Robot, Tales of Mystery and Imagination, and the people who played with him back then. We'll have links in the description of this video. I'm John Bowden. This is a new channel. Rock History Music, our other channel, just kicks butt. It's a big channel. We decided to start another channel which was based on things that happened in the past. Rock History Music is basically about brand new breaking news. But this channel, Rock History Book, we're going to look at top 10s of years and look at old albums. So make sure you subscribe. Also comment on our videos and share them as well. I'm John Bowden from Rock History Book.